Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how I made this lacy wrap or shawl, whatever you want to call it. I always thought wraps were the straight ones and shawls were the pointy ones until somebody pointed out to me that baby shawls are quite often square. So yeah, wrap, shawl, whatever you want to call it. Now it's a very simple stitch. It does look nice, intricate and lacy. And I really like it in this pink variegated yarn that I've chosen. So I'm going to show you how to do this on a smaller swatch, but I didn't use any kind of border. I felt like it really didn't need it. I'd started off with a double crochet UK or US single crochet, so it had a kind of an edge to it. And I didn't feel like I wanted to go along here as a border with it being striping yarn. It wouldn't keep within the stripes. And so the bottom had this fluted kind of edge to it anyway. So I just left it plain. But I'm just going to clear this out the way and let you know the multiples and everything else. So while I'm doing that, if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Okay, so the yarn that I used took four balls, and each one was, I've written it down, where is it, 280 meters. The yarn I used was this, so it wasn't obviously this color, but it was the pink one, and it's quite a thick yarn. It says fashion yarn, so it doesn't really say that it's a DK, and it doesn't say that it is a 4-weight, but I think I've seen some 4-weights this thin and I've seen some DKs this fat, so I would say in between. So you can use any yarn you want, a 4 or a 3, anything, as long as you use the corresponding crochet hook for it. So I've got a DK weight yarn to show you with, and I'm going to use a 4.5 millimeter. Now I did measure it, and my wrap is 103, sorry, that's not, it's 173 approximately centimeters by 60 deep, so roughly inches, 68 inches long by 24 inches deep. So that's my kind of measurements for mine. You're going to need the usual suspects for your work. Now I'm going to just use this very kind of plain and neutral shade to show you with. As I said, it is a DK. So you need to make a slip knot, and you can do that however you would normally make yours. And you want to do multiples of 4 plus 1. So I'm just going to make a swatch with you, and I'm going to be making my chain. So I'm just going to pause it for a second while I do that, because counting out loud can be quite off-putting. So I'll come back to you when I've got a swatch. But if you wanted to, my wrap was 196 chain for the multiples of 4 plus 1, so it was 197. So I'll pause it now while you do your chain. However, if you want to make a swatch first, then by all means do, but it's multiples of 4 plus 1. Okay, here I am with my chain, which is for the length of my swatch. Now row 1 is very, very simple. We're just going to do a UK double crochet in every stitch, or a US single. So not counting the first one, we need to go into the second and just insert, pull up a loop. We have 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through them both. And we're going to do that all the way along in every single chain. We're just going to do 1 UK double crochet or US single crochet in every stitch all the way along. Nice and easy, this row. So simple as that. In every single chain to the end. I will pause the video and catch up with you once I've been in every single one. Okay, so I've got my last one to do. And I've reached the end, so that's what it will be looking like. Now I'm going to chain 3, which is very unusual for me. I only usually chain 2 if I'm doing a UK treble or a US double crochet. But we've got a fair gap to bridge. So what we're going to do is we are going to go into the 4th one. So not counting this stitch here, this one here, because this is coming from this first. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3. We're going in here and we're going to make a cluster. We're going to yarn over and go in, yarn over and pull up our loops. So we have 3 on our hook, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So that is our treble crochet in the UK. US, it's a double. We're going to do another 2 in the same space. We're going to chain 2 and do another 1 in exactly the same space. So that is our cluster. Just bear with me a second, I've got the postman. Sorry about that, had an intrusion. So again, we're going to skip 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th one, we're going to do that cluster again. I've chosen this yarn because it is quite thick to show you on and it's easy to see. But if you look at my wrap, it does look finer. I think I used a smaller hook and it is slightly thinner yarn. So this is what it's looking like. A bit of an odd shaped cluster. We've got our 3 and then a space and then another 1. So we're going to count again. 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th, another cluster. If I go ahead of you, then just by all means, pause me and catch up. In the same space, our last one. Just getting a bit of a wavy edge. 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. Once you get past the first couple of rows, this is a nice easy pattern to do while you're watching TV. It's just repetition, and once you know where you are, it flies as well. It's very fast. 1, 2, 3 in the 4th, really fast growing, and it looks harder than it actually is. Quite often you find that with stitches that you think are really difficult, but when you do them, they look it, but they're actually not. Okay, there we go. And we're going to do another 1, 2, 3 in the 4th. One, 2, 3 in the 4th. Now this is our last cluster. Need to pull out some yarn, just bear with me a second. That's better. So I've done 2, got my 3rd, and then my 2 chain, whoops, and another one in the same space. Okay, so now we've got this space at the end. We're just going to do 1 in the last stitch. 1 UK, did I go, what's going on here? That's fine. 1 UK treble or US double crochet all on its own, just like it will be at this edge. So, okay, we've done our first row. We're going to turn our work. And this time I am just going to chain 2, which customarily, if I'm doing the treble or the US double crochet, I will only ever do 2 chains. Some people do 3, but I find it just bulges out and it's too many. Because now we're going to work in these holes that we created with our chain spaces. So it's not too far a distance. I don't need 3 chain. So we're going to do another cluster into that space. Two chain, and our last one, completing our cluster. And then we're going to skip all these and we're going to go straight over to this chain space here, which we created on the previous round. And we're going to do the cluster in there. You can see it's starting to take shape. We're going to ignore these, go straight for the chain spaces. That's the only area now that we're going to work in, are all of the chain spaces. See what I mean about how easy this is? Once you get going, you're just flying, and you can watch TV or your favourite box set while you're working on this. It's so easy to find where you've got to go as well. So it's a nice easy one. Once you master it, it's very easy. Almost at the end. And pull out more yarn. This is a really good stitch for blankets or making shawls. It's really, I think it's quite attractive. I'm not usually one for very lacy looking stitches, but I like this one because it's a variation. It's different to granny stitch. Okay, so we've got to the end. Now we want to go into the top of our second chain. We did 3 because that's quite a distance, and this chain here we want to stay over to bridge this gap. So we're going to count them. 1, 2. I'm going to go into that one there and do my last treble crochet UK or US double, and that will then make that nice and straight at that edge, and it's looking good. So we just do our turn our work and do 2 chain and repeat that last row. That is all we do. It's just a 1 row repeat. Once you've got your foundation row of your UK doubles or US singles, and you've got your first row underway of actual clusters, it is so easy. It's just a one row repeat, and you can make anything you want with this. It's such a versatile pattern. But if you forgot what I said about my wrap, I will put all of those details, all of the measurements and the multiples, every single thing I've mentioned will be in the description box, along with my shop details where you can actually get everything I've used here today. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.